Is it going to be on NIP Flash?
Here's the thing. I feel like this time they're not gonna actually commit to that anymore. I think, come on, for 3 series or 3 games they have actually been. No! Again.
Yeah, well, you know, well, we'll see whether they die on that hill. But I think that's a good reason why they pick up the Zust. At the end of the day, if you look at game 1, Owl did a ton of damage. So it wasn't like he wasn't effective.
True.
Maybe they just needed a switch up in terms of how they want to approach the fight. Or maybe they want to pick better heroes, a tankier hero instead of a Ruby. Because Ruby is one of those heroes where if you get caught, right, especially in the Dayton's Welcome, she's not able to sustain. As a Ruby, you want to be constantly, you know, casting the skills so that you can get the lifesteal. And the fact that HomeBois had such a tanky front line and so much CC on the board meant that JPL couldn't really survive in the fights.
Yeah. Well, Hayabusa leaked through in game 1, leaked through in game 2 again. So Hayabusa and Ruby becomes the option for HomeBois. It's also kind of a steal pick for HB. Right? It was a great. It was always a big flex for JPL and Adamir. Now that one removed from the pool, and the fact that Arlet is banned out by NIP Flash themselves means that they sort of need an alternative.
Yeah, I would love to see NIP Flash take out the Cho. JPL is a mean Cho, and I think it's fine, right? You already see the Hayabusa coming up. So I think with the Way of the Dragon, I think that is an option to kind of lock down the Assassin. That being said, there are still a couple of picks that we can look at, right? Harif still open up for NIP Flash as well. They can potentially put the Zaz in the mid lane and then pick up the Harif. But knowing them, you know, they like to go for something a little bit more traditional. So looks like we're going to be seeing the Moskov make a return for this lineup, especially with Owl being known to pick up the Moskov.
I suppose they don't want to commit all their main damage source to magic, right? But Terizla setup, I think we've seen this before for Adamir. Xavier comes through again for HomeBois. Not too much of a difference from game 1 except for that Ruby Fasha.
Agree, definitely. I mean, NIP Flash, I think this is also one of the early setup when they fight out with Team Liquid. But again, it was so quick that Team Liquid was able to actually read up every single movement that was done by NIP Flash that they couldn't do anything. Hopefully, with the Rizla that they've picked up for this game, this is what is needed from NIP Flash to turn things around, and it will be much more better persecution because every single time he tried to go in for a fight, he tried to actually initiate the team fight, it ended up not in the favor of NIP Flash.
So another Assassin ban now. There's technically 4 Hades' hero removed from the pool. I mean, he still has his signature arm on. Of course, we've seen that, the Guinevere also in the pool, but it is feeling a lot more constricted for NIP Flash.
Yeah, I think it's all about protection now for HomeBois, right? They want to make sure that Udil on the Xavier is protected, and Assassins is definitely a no-no, especially when you want your Xavier to be free and easy, as I'll put it that way. So Fanny being banned out, Ling being banned out, no Ling being banned out, those are understandable. Now the question on board is NIP Flash. They don't necessarily have to go down the Assassin route. We have seen them being able to play a front line, something like a Fedrin, right? Being able to soak up the damage output coming from HomeBois and to be able to provide that taunt. Now the question is, will NIP Flash choose to go down that route? Because I think with Adamir going into the EXP lane and now picking up a Terizla, that gives NIP Flash once again an option to go for Assassin. So hey, we'll have to see.
I mean, we go down the rabbit hole. Like, even Lancelot was banned out, and it's not a pick that you normally see. The
Julian is still open.
There's the Julian open. I mean, the Claude being banned out by NIP Flash because it's Nexus signature, but who's to say that he won't potentially whip out the Ruby Gold? So certain things still in the air for HomeBois, but for NIP Flash, it feels like maybe if they want to go Assassin, there's the Martyrs. Nets gets the carry.
Yeah, carry is one of HomeBois' signature pick, right? It's a comfort pick. They have been picking it quite a couple of times during MSC, so this isn't a surprise. And the fact that you're going to be going up against a Terizla, I think the carry is kind of there to just shut him down. And this also puts NIP Flash in a slightly tougher spot, because if Hades does go for a tank jungler, then he's just going to get shredded out by the carry. But looks like we spoke about it, the Julian gets picked up.
Julian Lolita. Alright. So Fasha, how does this look for you? Does this look good?
I have 100% faith on the side of HomeBois.
But don't you want to see a game tree?
Yeah, don't you want to see a
it's
game
all
tree?
about game
I
tree.
want it. I already put in my prediction that it's going to be 2-1. But here's the thing. Drafting again, HomeBois is at the better upper hand. You guys have to agree on that, don't you guys?
Well, I can't agree with that because I have to be biased here. But Biasness aside, the Barats comes back into the picture. So HomeBois, once again, 3 out of the 5 heroes. It feels like a deja vu. The Hayabusa, the Xavier, as well as the Barats. It's the classic HomeBois protect Udio strat.
Yeah, protect the Kage, right? I mean, he's called a Kage for a reason, but I think going into this, final words from you, Fasha. I know you want a game 3, but I want your honest thoughts.
Honest thought, I really hope that NIP Flash can pull things around, because the fact is, despite the drafting could be on the better side of HomeBois, maybe they have an idea to actually pull it through and turn things, and maybe we can actually get to see the game 3.
Yeah, perhaps the Lolita is going to be the answer, right? I mean, you do have the carry that you know, you can use the bulwark to kind of deal with her, but for now, I'm gonna pass the mic to both of you to take us in the game 2.
And here is game 2 between NIP Flash versus HomeBois. Well, we saw what happened in game 1. NIP Flash unfortunately not having the best of start in today's games. Will they be able to turn the tides, or will they have a repeat of their performance like MSC? We'll have to find out, but here is game 2. Fasha, what are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts? I'm gonna be happy, but mid lane already having a fight right in the scene, as HomeBois just pushing straight to NIP Flash, giving a lot of damage, almost close enough to get that first blood. But here on out, Mal and Udil, oh, they're thirsty. They are thirsty for blood, and somehow Mal will be stunned. He will be taken out immediately by NIP Flash, and there you go! First blood comes through by Hades himself. Despite the fact that HomeBois was the one who initiated, they ended up losing that team fight.
Yeah, Hades here, hitting that level 3. We spoke about the Julian spike, right? You don't really need that level 4 to be as effective. But on the other side, the final kill nearly manages to pick up Adam. He's still sticking around, still trying to defend that lane. I think it's a bit of a risky play. He has to give up that EXP crib. But hey, both teams here doing pretty decently well, though NIP Flash did manage to pick up the first blood.
Agree, definitely. Looking good so far for both sides. Trace has been done, and a great defense coming out on the side of NIP Flash as well. But here on out, they will be trying to push in. So far, it's really fast on the early games, but things are slowing down. And moving on to the bottom side, we got Carry Nets coming through with Owl pushing it with Moskos. MM versus MM. What's it gonna be like?
Yeah, it's kind of a drawn lane, right? Both players just trying to farm it out. But here comes the total fight. Adamir, not level 4 yet, doesn't have the penalty zone, but he's doing a ton of damage with first skill. Yeah, A3 trying to get the steal in, but Hades will secure that red tree battle, and it is the first total going the way of NIP Flash.
Great steal coming in. That's a great move from the team of NIP Flash. What we wanted to see during the first run, and it seems that it is going in their favor as well. Now, HomeBois, on the other note, they are trying to actually put a foot on what the team of NIP Flash is doing, but it's not coming off as they want it to be.
Yeah, I guess in some ways, NIP Flash, they have a little bit more breathing room, given that HomeBois need time to scale up. But on the other side, you know, Owl also needs that space to farm, because we talk about Moskov here. So hopefully both teams put a little bit more pressure on bot lane. I would like to see a bit more, how do I put it, aggression coming up on both sides.
Alright, Udil comes through. Try to actually go in for initiator. Oh, it's just a back and forth right now. So far, it's just teasing everybody at the moment right now. Nobody actually trying to go in for the scrimmage, but at least they try to actually find a way to break through, and somehow not much of the information will be relayed on their side. It's just right now waiting for the right time. That's all.
Yeah, NIP Flash is trying to set up a gank in the mid lane. If Mal or Imel that's going, it could be very risky. And here it comes, the Shadow comes right in, but it's not a full commit. Udo also does a good job with the infinite expansion, or rather, Inspiration to just try to make his mark onto the bush. A little bit of a reference there, if you guys know what I mean.
Okay, and it seems that they wanted to actually go in for the fight right at the bottom, but they didn't actually commit to that. Now pushing right on the mid is going to be 3 players, but NIP Flash somehow just holding off for the positioning. Team HomeBois so far, it is the exact same thing that we see so far from the first game itself, because they slow things down. They try to actually get some of the buff from themselves. And here on out, they're trying to actually go in for the turtle.
Looks like JPL here trying his best. Nominal Blast already used, but Adamel penalty zone only catches Mel. Will that be enough? The Dawning Light comes out from Udio, and it was dropping really low in the meantime. Yeah, on the other side, still trying to spot out where is Hades, just hiding sneakily in the corner. And here comes the sword. Is it enough though? BO3 hanging on for dear life, but Katizi comes in and manages to pick up the kill onto the barrage, but Nets hanging around. Emil still up and alive, still healthy, still trying to get the steal on that turtle.
I mean, that was close enough from the side of HomeBois. Was expecting more, but here on out, HomeBois come through Mal. A little bit too risky there, but he's gonna be taken down by Hades immediately. Not sure why he overextended himself trying to push in, but ended up giving a lot of this favor to the side of NIP Flash, and Turtle will be taken off straight away for the team of NIP Flash.
Yeah, Udio nearly gets the steal of the Dawning Light, but it is still Hades on top of his Retribution game. 2 turtles now. I think lead definitely a lot more in the favor of NIP Flash compared to what we saw in game 1. Sword comes out, the chain misses onto Emil, and the Hayabusa will get Scott off free.
So far, Team HomeBois, not much of their fight is in their favor, and even their respawn is actually quite slow. And this is something that we've seen so far, even on the first game as well, because every single time they were having a little bit struggle to fight in, and NIP Flash has the upper hand. And even despite that, I was expecting more for HomeBois here because they had the benefit from themselves, and they also had the most early games heroes for them to actually push in, but ended up now NIP Flash has the upper hand. They were very over-aggressive to a point that Team HomeBois cannot do anything. Gonna push in for the 2 red. That's gonna be the end for that. So 2 turrets down. Team HomeBois seems like this is a deja vu again on that first game.
Udio just being annoying here, using the Mystic Field to spot out members of NIP Flash, and well, the gang isn't going to go in the way of the Singaporean team. But hey, like I said, you know, at the end of the day, like we saw in game 1, despite having the lead, NIP Flash did still go down. Udio stays in the fight for too long, but they're mounting a little bit of a defense here in mid lane. And Adamir going to the penalty zone, catches 3 members aside of HomeBois. The Spear of Devastation comes up as well. Is he going to go into the back line? Hades not being able to follow up. They came for the mid tower, but not only did they not manage to get the tower, they lost Adamir in that fight as well. Wow, Bunny, that was too risky from Adamir in my opinion.
Agree, definitely. Overextension coming in from side NIP Flash. And here, Imal coming pushed through. Unfortunately, they just try to go in for the fight, but it was not going to be enough though. And here on out, Team NIP Flash going in for the ulti, but ended up Courtesy just backs off from the fight. Continuance, and Team NIP Flash will be able to just shoo away HomeBois and get the turtle for themselves.
Yeah, it's kind of like a second place prize, right? Consolation prize, if you put it that way. They didn't manage to get the tower, they didn't manage to get a Q there, but HomeBois did expend a lot of ultimate. And speaking about ultimate, JPL, flicker in, still has the flicker, pardon me, but well, didn't really manage to catch anyone there with the dash.
Nope. Just a lot of defense been broken up, and Team HomeBois had to back things off. Even Nets is struggling at the moment right now to actually meet up with Moskov. Need more buff coming in from inside. They are going to meet up right here at the mid lane. Year 3 just holding the ground.
Yeah, it's a classic matchup, right? I think, like you said, HomeBois are holding the ground. We do see the Moskov using the Spear of Misery to get to the bot lane just to stop the push coming to carry. So that's, you know, perfect aiming coming for Owl. No pun intended, given that he's a bird, you know. He's pretty sharp with those eyes.
Okay, I like that. You keep on giving a lot of pun references right now.
Yeah, I'm trying my best, right? Before Jace comes
But there you go. Oh, I'll come through,
Okay.
and Udil pushing off at the moment right now. Adama managed to take down Year 3.
JPL here, just making sure the rest of NIP Flash do get a picture, but Hayabusa gets hit by the Spear of Misery. Is that enough? They're committing a lot on this Hayabusa. Julian's around the corner. Hades does manage to get email. And look at the BMs, the rivalry just starting coming up. That's going to secure the tier 2 up in top lane. And with Lord coming up in 35 seconds, I think NIP Flash must be feeling really good in game 2.
I mean, this is not just a small victory. This is like the crucial victory that is needed for NIP Flash. And we've been talking about how they were having a lot of struggles coming in for a fight with Team HomeBois. But then, now it seems that they're much more sturdy. Gonna push in right straight away. Udil gonna go in for the initiator, but doesn't actually get any enough to push in. BO3 gonna go in with Mal. Goes in for a fight. NIP Flash just backs off just after that turret. They don't want to actually overcommit. They just get the victory that they needed, and now they're just gonna go all out for the lot instead.
Yeah, the change up in draft definitely, NIP Flash looking a lot more comfortable. I think the Terizla pick was good. It was what they were missing in the first game, right? The ability to just be in the face of HomeBois and be slightly more tanky. I think the front line was what was missing in game 1. And the fact that now they're picking a Zask mid instead of a goal lane puts a little bit more pressure off Owl, because now he's a lot more mobile than Moskov. Speaking of Moskov, Spirit Misery lands onto Nets. Is that more enough? Just one more hit. It gets him away scot-free, but Mal, oh, good hook coming in, gets both JPL and Owl, and now it's lots of trouble for NIP Flash. But here comes the reply. Adamir with the hammer gets the kill onto the barrage. Udil in a lot of problems. You shouldn't be there, Udil. And they get the kill with the Dominator's Descent. But Emil, job's not done. HomeBois trying to be flashy. Udil final kill. Not popped off just yet. And Hades with the chain onto the back line gets the Hayabusa. Nets dropping really low. But NIP Flash, they are not where they want to be. But Mel trying his best to help the defense. The rest of the super minions are coming down alongside the Lord NIP Flash. They managed to get key members on HomeBois.
Oh, spawn come through right this instant. There's a lot of struggle coming in for the side of HomeBois. Udil pushed through with the side of the ulti. Taurus is already down, but NIP Flash not overextending. I'm liking it. They're just pushing in and that's it. They're like, okay, we're not gonna go in all out already. It's done. It's a done deal for them.
Well, that's the NIP Flash, I know. A lot more discipline, a lot more, methodical. But I gotta say, I come back to the drop. I think the change up in the drop as compared to game 1 definitely makes it a lot more stable for NIP Flash to play. And I think that's our HomeBois. Well, we are starting to see cracks in terms of the performance. We talked about this. We talked about the consistency that HomeBois have failed to, kind of display. And it's starting to show. Well, JPL, get a card right here. The final shadow kill comes out. I don't think they will be able to get anything here. Adamir onto the front line. Infinite. Nearly. I thought that Adamir would have been caught there, but the Mystic Field is not enough.
No.
Oh, but look at the barrage. Oh, a 4-man catch by Adamir onto the back line. Mel drops, and Dominant's Descent gets popped as well. NIP Flash, in a blink of an eye, picks up game 2.
I did not know what was happening at that time.
It was, no pun intended, gone in the flash. Just like that. Do you see that? Adamir pops in, flicker into penalty zone, catches 4 members, they take down the barrage, and just like that.
I'm on counter right now of how many puns that has already been put out by Aris for today.
Well, someone has to get the job done before Jace arrives. So you're gonna get more of those coming up in game 2 onwards.
We were just getting started, but ask and you shall receive. Our first 3-game full series on Stream C, and it has to be this eternal rivalry, HomeBois against NIP Flash. But if there's one difference between this and game 1, it's the fact that NIP Flash were just dominating. Absolute.
Yeah.